Claudette Gilhespie has overcome many challenges from tough opponents on the tennis court to 33 career singles wins. However, on a return trip from Texas after a match, Claudette had to deal with an unexpected health scare.
And we were playing matches in Texas, and I'd had no symptoms prior. I just had a lot of headaches for about a month, but that was it. And I was on the van back from Texas, and all of a sudden my right side went completely numb. And I remember freaking out, thinking like, what is wrong? And then as I tried to tell my teammates and my coaches that something was wrong, none of the words would come out of my mouth.
I think we might have been in the van for maybe 20 minutes after that, and that's when everything kind of just happened. Coach is driving, I'm in the passenger seat, and I turn to see what's going on, and Claudette is sitting up, and she's talking, I think, a little bit still at this point, and she's trying to communicate that something's wrong, but the words just aren't coming out. So you don't really know what to do. I mean, you know something's wrong, you've never been in this situation before, and you don't know when something like this happens, how much time you have. We have no idea where we're at. It's a small town in Texas, and so the hospital just felt too much time. So I'm married to a physical therapist. I pick up the phone and I describe what her symptoms are, and she says, you need to pull the van over and call 911 now because she might be having a stroke.
It is a helpless feeling, but I have to admit to you, I have probably the best co-pilot next to me right now. So when we were in the middle of nowhere and the girls are yelling, Coach, she doesn't feel this, and Amber is communicating with her and we're trying to keep things going, I was really impressed with the people, the 911 call in Texas. They basically told us where to pull over, and they said that the paramedics would be there within 15 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, they were there and they took over.
They didn't come back. Hadn't heard anything, very curious what's going on. Get a call from Coach Garza, so Amber calls, and she's like, we're in the hospital. She's like, I'm talking to her. Face starts to droop, starts slurring her words. She was having a stroke in the van. And it's horrible to think that's one of your students, it's one of your student athletes. At the same time, she's an international student, and you know there's no family here. So thank God that Coach Burgess and Amber genuinely care about their athletes. They take them in, they know Claudette's from England, it's across the ocean. That's their family, that's who it is. And they care about her enough that they stayed. So tennis was gone. Claudette stayed in the hospital for 4 or 5 days, and then came back, and then we had to start the process of we gotta get Claudette open heart surgery. What are we gonna do?
Then I really freaked out because I didn't know what a stroke was, and I didn't know what was happening to me at the time. So I was really scared, and I remember thinking I wanted to keep my eyes open so bad because I was so scared what would happen if I did close my eyes. Obviously it was in the middle of the night. For my family were thousands of miles away in England, and I remember trying to call them, but it was in the middle of the night, so no one was awake. So I had the two coaches there, Amber and Beatrice Kanga, and I remember if it wasn't for them, I don't know how I would have coped. And they said that I'd had a little hole in my heart, which can be normal for some people, but I'd had a blood clot which had come up into my heart and filled the hole and then gone to my brain and burst, and that's when I had the stroke.
She's so young, so I didn't expect anything like that to have happened to somebody so young, but she was really calm considering what was happening. She was really calm, and she just messaged me because I missed a call at first, and then I messaged her saying, are you okay? And tried to ring her back, and she didn't answer, and I got a message basically just saying I'm in the hospital, they think I've had a stroke. And I rang her straight back, and she was upset, but really calm. She says, I'm with the doctors now, can you try and call mum and dad? So I then rang my dad straight away, but obviously it's awful being here and her being there.
Ringing Claudette's phone, and luckily I got a hold of Coach. It wasn't easy by any means, I've got to admit, and you've got so much going through your head over here. Do I jump on the plane? Do I get there? Coach is telling me to keep calm, stay in touch. And then I spoke to the doctors, and the doctors sort of said, look, we've identified a hole in the heart, and we'd recommend that she gets that sorted, so that would mitigate some of the risk of a future stroke. So it kind of, touch wood, it worked out all right in the end, because I managed then to get out there and be with her for the operation in New Orleans to get her through the heart operation and everything like that. But I wouldn't wish it on any parent at all.
I remember my second night in the hospital, they told me, yeah, you're gonna have to wear this, one of the nurses told me, you're gonna have to wear this big heart monitor for the rest of your life. You're not gonna be playing competitive sport again. And I remember that was like the first time since the stroke that I couldn't stop crying, and I was thinking, oh my God, I don't know what my life is going to be so different. But the next day the doctor told me a different opinion, and I had the heart operation, and I've made a full recovery. Physically, I have no difficulties on my right side anymore. Obviously, I took some time off, but I remember on the outside, I really wanted to put on a strong front and act like everything was okay. And I went straight back to my classes, and I started training again, like after I think two weeks. And I wanted to put on that strong front and be fine so much. But I know inside of me, like, it was, even though I was lucky, it massively affected me mentally.
It's different when you're an athlete. You take that sport away from somebody, and it's way worse than the anxiety. It's the depression that sets in. But to look at Claudette and go, it's your decision. We tell it to every athlete. You get hurt, you want to come back, it's your choice. Nobody can take it away from you. Someone, Claudette, was like, they told me that I can't. And I was like, yeah, they told you that you can't because they want you to like live a normal life. But if you want to be an athlete, you get the surgery, it gets fixed. The only person who's going to take tennis away from you is you. So how hard do you want it? How bad do you want to work for it? What do you want to do? And she was like, I'm going to play. All right then, let's play.
She was struggling with it, and I think it's just because she came back soon. She did, and that's just Claudette. Like, she's one of our biggest fighters on the court. But anytime she would exert herself, and headaches are not very uncommon for her. So those symptoms and that situation came back often for her when she was playing. And of course, it's easy for her to associate and kind of fear that to happen again. So
I know I was strong before, but what I really realized is that you can't always put on a strong face, and acting strong isn't about being strong. It's about letting your weaknesses out and dealing with it rather than pushing it away. And that it's okay to not like feel okay, or to have anxiety, or to have like problems that come up when you're vulnerable, but to actually recognize that and like let it out and talk enables you to like get through it. And after you are through it, or when you get close to the end, you become stronger, and it makes you more of the person you are today.